Hello and welcome to the Lair Podcast in association with Riverside Sports Bar, the home for live sport and great burgers in Newport. Joining me for this one is Gavin Thomas and Gareth Leclerc. Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
I'm better than Gareth is, I think.
I'm not too bad. It's been a 2 day hangover. I'm coming to the end of it now, I hope. But yesterday in particular was a big struggle after Dragons' Friday night victory celebration.
So you had a few then, Gareth, it's fair
I
to say.
did have a few, yeah. So anyone I bumped into, sorry for my slurred words, probably. But good fun.
Yes.
A little bit of regret.
I hope you didn't try and tear your cock off. You didn't try and do that, did you?
No, I wasn't in any sort of shape to be tearing my cock off, mate.
Regular listeners will know what we mean by that. But yeah, ever since you said you were going to do that, I have to do welfare checks on you now. I have to make sure you're okay, especially if we win. I'm thinking, what's my Gav going to do to hurt himself in the process?
Dear me. It's if we beat Cardiff, then it's,
Right.
yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
moving away from my cock.
News
My
desk.
mother's so proud that I'm on the Dragons pod. Luckily, she doesn't listen.
Okay, well,
That's well, really, isn't it?
I'll try and move on from all this then, shall I? Right. News desk. Very quiet week in terms of news, specifically Dragons news. Anyway, looks like Mackenzie Martin isn't staying at Dragons, nor does it look like he'll be going back to Cardiff either. Reports are saying he's off to France, and has been linked with a move to Beziers in the Pro D2. Wales Online say no deal has been signed yet, but Dragons are keen on signing him permanently, but Beziers are favourites to sign him. It'd be a bit of a shame if Mackenzie Martin left for France, wouldn't there? Would you like to see him stay in Wales and sign for the Dragons? How do we feel about this?
For me, I think he promises a lot, but we haven't seen him a lot on the field, have we? When he has been on the field, he's given us a bit of oomph, but not played regularly enough. Because there's two issues, really. We we know that we don't have the strength in depth, so we have to recruit. And my question would be, can we get someone better than him? And if we can get someone better than him, I'd be all right with it.
Gareth?
Yeah, it's not devastated. He's a good player and he's got promise. I think I would have been more disappointed if he was going back to Cardiff because he has got some promise, but at least that promise probably won't hurt us next season. I'd like to keep him. I thought
Yeah.
he was excellent against Leinster, but I don't think he's at the point in his career yet where he should be first choice. I don't think he warrants that quite yet. I think he's got it in him in the future, but yeah, I think we'd still want to recruit someone to replace Wayno anyway. So it wouldn't be the biggest loss in the world, but if he's still unsure, definitely would like to see him on the books for us next season.
I think it'll be a bigger disappointment for Cardiff fans if he was to leave
Yeah,
Wales.
especially
Because
losing
um,
Faletau.
exactly. Well, there's rumours that he is off. We'll wait and see. But at the end of the day, he's not really our player to lose. You know, he's not ours. He's on loan. Cardiff are his club.
Yeah,
So I can't see Cardiff fans being particularly happy about that. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But it seems a bit of a shame to be losing him because I quite like him. I think he's got a lot of potential. And I still feel he was mismanaged by Cardiff as well. But then he
I'd
hasn't
agree
been
there.
getting much game time with us. But then he has suffered injuries as well. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. No one can blame him though. If he does go to France, he'll get a good payday out there, won't he? But it's just a case of being out of sight, out of mind. That's my only
yeah.
concern. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. For Tulipaya was at the game on Friday. Do you see what he wrote on his Instagram page? He wrote, "Not long now.
Good stuff. That's what we want.
Not long now," is what he said. So we should see him back in action very soon. Because I know a few fans keep asking when he's returning. The Dragons are giving no information. They're not being very helpful, but they don't give a lot of information now on injuries. So that's just the way it is. And that's it really in terms of news. And there's the usual Cardiff Y11 rumours swirling round, as always. But I'm not going to get into all that tonight.
That Welsh Rugby Twitter has been an
Oh,
absolute
I know.
madhouse this
Yeah.
weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah. Osprey's Twitter's been eating itself alive for the
Oh,
past week. And
just bearing its heart, soul, and everything else to the world.
you know, I don't want to sound insensitive, but I'm getting bored of it now. Just make a decision. Just someone make a decision.
It's so horrible for the fans, isn't it, to be going through that? I mean, I know we're not, we're not 100% on what the future looks like for ourselves, but we're in a lot better position than those down west. It must be horrible, especially with all the Y11 stuff going around. I do feel for the Ospreys fans, bless them. It's tough going.
But also, and I think Lance Bradley isn't going to say, "Oh, don't worry, there's a lot of moving parts." I know these fans will say, "Oh, you have to tell us, you have to tell us." No, he doesn't have to tell you anything.
He's not in a position to.
No.
People forget Lance is the CEO. It's not like David. He's not the co-owner. He'll do as the owners tell him, and he's not going to give anything away. He never does. Lance Bradley never gives a straight answer to anything, so don't expect him now to come out and be like, "Yeah, it's all fine. It's always, we'll update when we can and all this." You're never going to get a straight answer from Lance, and he probably doesn't know any more than the fans, I would say. People giving him a hard time, but I bet he's in the dark with what's going on.
Yeah, I do feel for him a bit. He gets tagged on Twitter. You think, yeah, what can he say?
He's not going to tell you anything, guys. He's not going to come out and say everything's fine. He's not going to come out and say, "Don't worry, we're safe." So I don't see the point in tagging him all the time, personally, but I don't know. And then you got Cardiff fans kicking off saying, "Oh, we're going to walk away if Y11 come in." It's like, yeah, you said you walk away when the union took over and you didn't. So,
No one's walking away from anything, are they? Yeah, and what difference does it make if Y11 own their club?
Well, it's the optics, isn't it? Because as Cardiff CF10 Rugby Trust said, if Y11 come in and take over, they have survived at the expense of another club. That's what the CF10 Trust said. So, and I get that. They will be viewed as the club that survived at the expense of the Ospreys. But then if Y11 have bid, which we believe they have, they've never been officially confirmed. If they have bid, then why have they bid? If they're that committed to the Ospreys, you wouldn't bid at all. So I don't get it.
Cardiff fans won't give a shit about that.
Oh, they will at first. They will at first, but they'll quickly.
They're saying the right thing, but they won't care. They're a selfish bunch, they.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's selfish, is it? If your club survives, your club survives.
That was said tongue in cheek. That was Gavin. He was taking a mic, didn't
I have met him.
So hopefully the WRU will accept the strongest bid, which is from Martin Ryan in his Hollywood lot. That's the best outcome for Welsh Rugby. The best outcome for the WRU is for Y11 to bid, but then they'd have to take on two debts. So I said we wouldn't get into this, and yet here we are getting into it.
It's interesting, though, isn't it? And when you have, Steph putting on Wales Online about one of the bids being stronger, it's putting in the WRU in a very tricky position, isn't it? Because they're going to get even more heat then if they don't go with that bid.
Legally, they should accept the strongest bid, which is believed to be Martin Ryan and his Hollywood pals. That is the right thing to do, and legally, that's what they should do. But who knows? I don't want to talk about it anymore anyway, because I think it'll all come out in the next couple of weeks. We got important stuff to talk about. We got a victory to talk.
Yeah, we won. Oh, yeah,
exactly. Let's talk about that. We'll keep an eye on that situation. But in terms of news, that's pretty much it. Just very quiet week. Right. Let's look back on what happened on Friday night. So as we know, it was a do-or-die clash against Newcastle to give the Dragons a chance to make in the knockout stages. And it finished. Dragons 35, Newcastle Red Bulls 12. Dragons winning their fourth home game on the bounce for the first time since when? Any of you tell me?
2019.
Correct. Dragons won their fourth home game on the bounce for the first time since the 2019/2020 season. Yeah. Dean Ryan's first season in charge. Yeah, so despite bossing the first half, Dragons found themselves 7-12 down at half-time. But the second half was total domination as the men of Gwent scored 28 unanswered points to record a much-needed bonus point win. Now, we'll talk about the Perpignan and Lions game in a bit and what that meant for us. But let's talk about the game itself first. Let's get a view from the terrace. Mr. Clare, it was quite rowdy on the terraces, wasn't it? Quite loud. You lot dressing like a Def Leppard tribute band. Tell us all about it.
The Waynettes, yeah. It was good fun. I think the terrace was in good voice from the off, which just shows you have a couple of victories at home and people are going over there now. I wouldn't say with expectation, But not expectation to win, but expectation that this team is going to front up and put up a fight, which is exactly what we want. Thought the forwards again were fantastic, really good work rate, giving us carrying options, and the defence again, absolutely brilliant. Our defence at home has been really good. We conceded 2 tries, one from a transition play, great finish, and one from a very poor Shea Hope cross kick, which, beyond that, he was fantastic. I just felt like we were never going to lose, which is getting a bit of a familiar feeling at home now, watching the Dragons, is I'm very confident that we're going to get the job done. And we weren't particularly great in that first half, but we also weren't really troubled. And you felt that we could go and kick on. Normally, in the past, a Dragons team has done something good and then would make a mistake, would drop a kick off and make those basic errors. But we seem to be building momentum through a match and really killing the game off, essentially putting the foot on the throat of the opposition. I thought our decision makers like Angus made great decisions all night. Absolutely brilliant. Shea Hope, I think, just sort of dictates the pace of the game, knows when to, speed it up, short, long. I think he's got great variation to his game. And I've got to talk about Rio's second try. I think that was just absolutely beautiful. The ball from Angus was absolutely fantastic. I must have watched it 100 times, and Anisi makes it look easy. But that space was created from us working really hard. So like Wayno hits it up, and then we've got a pod going short, and they're hitting that line as if they're taking the ball. Shea Hope cuts behind them, goes to Tinas, who then has Keddy and Levi hitting the line really hard. So it just holds the defence, sucks them in. You've got 2 big ball carriers on the gain line. But again, he pulls it back to Angus, and that floated ball to Anisi into space. And Anisi just makes rugby look easy. He's just chewing gum, sauntering around, carrying the ball in one hand as Gav loves. It's so easy for him, and it's just beautiful to watch. Like, he just makes the right decision. Brilliant in defence as well. Anisi, like, he's looking like a really astute little signing from us. So we're starting to put a bit of attractive rugby on the pitch at the minute. And I think a lot of it is the forwards really giving us a platform and working hard. But we're getting into shape quicker. Shea Hope's dictating it. And credit to the coaches, been critical, but we're winning games at home and we're starting to put good performances out there. First half, okay, it didn't click, but we got it right in the second half, which can't fault that. And in the end, a very, very convincing scoreline. So many beers were consumed celebrating. Cheers, Dragons.
I bet they were. So he was all dressed as Aaron Wainwright, you lot on the terrace. He did eventually come over to you lot, didn't he, on the terrace? What did he say to you?
Well, as he came over to the barrier, we're all chanting, "We all dream of a team of Wainwrights." And he was like, "Boys, what the fuck are you all doing?" And just
did he actually say that?
Yeah, he just sort of laughed at us. I was like, "Oh my days!" Climbed over the barrier to get in amongst us and have a photo. Fair play to him. He's a good sport. But yeah, we wanted to show Aaron a bit of love. We understand why he's leaving, but he is a Dragons legend. So, and apologies to anyone else in the crowd that my brother bullied into putting on the headbands. And if he did spray your hair, I hope it didn't go onto your coats and jackets and all that. But it's not my job to contain him. It is what it is now.
Oh dear. Loaf's up to no good again, was he?
He was up to no good from the moment I met him. But yeah, it was good fun. Yeah, I seen watching the game back. We were on camera a few times.
You were on camera an awful lot.
Yeah, with the old wigs on. Yeah, so it was good fun, to be fair. Trimming them down in the carpenters beforehand, trying to get it the right look. So yeah, good fun. And bumping into a few other Dragons fans, and yeah, good laugh, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Gavin, what was your take on the game watching from home?
So I'm going to say something negative to start with before going into the positives.
That's unlike you.
Yeah. It should have been much higher score. I think we didn't take our opportunities, and we were 90% possession at one point, and it was 0-0. And we made 14 entries into their 22, and they made 2 into ours.
4,
Yeah.
it says on the stats. Actually,
4.
they made 4, yeah.
All right, well, still a lot better than us. Yeah, just finishing. And that's the negative, because second half, I think we just really realised, yeah, actually, we are much better than these, and we need to take advantage of it. And they were the strengths we know we've got now. Shea was great, I thought. Apart from a
Yeah.
couple of stumbles trying to pick the ball up, but that was feet and arms in the way that happens. But other than that, just zipping the ball about. I thought Harry Keddy had a great game, just really aggressive, always looking to get it over the game line, and him and Wayno were doing lots of work there. I don't like sixes playing at 4. I don't like 4s playing at 6. But I think Ryan Woodman is becoming absolutely indispensable now. So you have to have him on the field. Who else did I? And Angus is the obvious one. Yeah, Angus. When Angus is playing like that, he's everything we need, because he's such. He is our brain, because Tinas is not our brain. He's our brain, and when our brain is working, we are just dangerous. And I know what our playing style looks like now.
The attack has improved. And
Yeah.
we've been very critical of Matt
Yeah.
O'Brien on this pod. But listen, I think our criticism is always valid. I think it's always justified. But you've also got to give praise when it's due. And to be fair, the coaches are turning around. I have hammered them. Damn right, they've hammered the coaches.
We all have.
Because they deserved it at that particular time. Now, they deserve praise, and we're going to give them praise. That's how it works.
Yeah, because I know what the attacking style is now. It's expansive. It's ambitious. We're trying to get the ball into the hands of the guys who create problems. Tinas is always looking to bring Rio into it, or kind of Inisi as well, who I am rapidly just becoming a huge fanboy of. Just because of his absolute kind of ability to always make yards. Yeah, and to stop carrying the ball in one hand, mate. Honestly, it don't help. But other than that, he's been so invaluable. But I thought what really worked well Friday was the kicking game, mainly from Angus. Oh my word,
Superb.
And every kicking battle we won, apart from when the ball went to Di Richards, who's less capable in those under those high balls. But we won every kicking battle because Tina's kicked well up the hand as well, I thought.
Yeah.
And Shea did. So, yeah, that really made the game. And, if you think about their tries, one was an intercept. And one was, Shea, maybe don't kick the ball to the quickest bloke on the field.
Right, can I just mention this, right? Because I watched it back. I didn't notice it at the time, but when I watched it back, did you not think it was a bit weird by the ref? So there was a knock-on advantage. Shea kicks it because he thinks it's an advantage.
It's a knock-on advantage.
But as soon as Wade caught it, it was like advantage over.
Yeah, no, it's a knock-on advantage. No knock-on advantage. If you kick a knock-on advantage and you kick and without undue pressure and it makes distance, it's advantage over. That's a law. If that's a penalty advantage, yes. Because you haven't got an advantage.
Yeah.
But a knock-on advantage is you would have the possession in that position of the field because of scrum.
Well, I didn't think it was much of an advantage, to be honest, but I think that's what Shea probably thought.
He's kicked it 30 metres not under pressure. The advantage is always going to be over in those situations. The minute you kick the ball, and it's a clear strike in that situation, 99% of referees will give advantage over.
Because if you watch it back, and Nyron Owen, he stops and he looks at the ref because he thinks it's going to be called back.
He didn't fancy that chase back, did he?
No, but the first thing he does is he looks at the ref and he puts his arm like that because he thinks it's going to be called back. But what you've explained, Gav, it makes sense now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they thought it was a penalty advantage.
Yeah.
But at no point, his arm doesn't go up, his arm is flat. So when he calls advantage, it's scrum advantage. And then when he calls advantage over, he pulls his arm in.
Okay, fair enough. That's that explained then. Apart from that kick, Shea had a really good game.
Quality, and he had a good
game.
So good to watch.
Yeah. I tell you what surprised me. I don't know if it surprised you, Gareth. How many Newcastle fans were at the game?
Yeah, there were a few, weren't there, to be fair?
So as I was walking through the city centre, there was a group of Newcastle fans. They came up to me and asked, "How do we get to Rodney Parade?" There was about 6 or 7 of them. I thought, "Oh, blimey, they've actually got fans, Newcastle." They put some fans down. And then we was in the pub. There was quite a few in the pub as well,
Yeah, there were a few
and
knocking about.
there were even some in the ground as well. Quite a few in the busy. Did you see any over by you on the terrace?
Yeah, we heard a few at the beginning of the game. Didn't hear much of them thereafter, to be fair. But
No.
but yeah, there were a few in the stand, which was good. I mean, people want that angle of Welsh fixture, didn't they? So I hope they enjoyed themselves anyway.
Yeah.
When people say they want an Anglo Welsh fixture, what they actually want is to be playing Gloucester and Bristol every other week on a rotating, never-ending thing. Because there's no other rugby clubs in England. They're all in the West Country.
What I would say about Newcastle, though, I think give them 3-4 years, I think they will be a serious team.
Oh yeah, look at the players they're bringing
next
in.
season.
Jesus, yeah.
The recruitment they're making. They signed. Who did they sign? Was it Rafi Quirk?
Rafi Quirk. Yeah.
No,
yeah. It's not
read,
official yet, but yeah, it looks very likely.
I read that Sale offered him 300k because that's the most they could offer. Newcastle came in with a 400k offer, so he signed for Newcastle. Very good player, Rafi Quirk. Hoskins Tutu. They're making really good, smart signings. So that Newcastle team, what we saw on Friday, they'll pale in comparison to the team that Newcastle will have in 2 or 3 years. And they will get a much bigger fan base as well. Because this is what happened with Bristol Bears. Nobody gave a shit about Bristol before they became the Bears. When Andy Robinson and Sean Ollie was coaching them, nobody cared about Bristol.
No.
But what happened? They rebranded. They spent a lot of money. They had a bit of success. All of a sudden, they're like everyone's second favourite team. Like Bristol Bears have got a pretty good following in Wales, whereas nobody cared about them years ago, like when they went with Bristol Rugby. So I think the same thing will happen in Newcastle. I think they'll gain a lot of bandwagon fans, shall we say? But they're going to get some. They're going to get some very good results and very good players. I think in the next 4 to 5 years, they will be a force to be reckoned with. I reckon because with Red Bull behind you, you can't tell me they'll be bad. Like they're bound to improve with Red Bull behind them, surely.
Well, they won the league in the John Hall era with all the money he was spending. And, I'm not saying they're going to win the league, but they're definitely going to be far more competitive than they currently are, aren't they?
Oh, goodness me, yeah.
It shows money talks, though, doesn't it? Look how bad they were last season. They were worse than us. We had a poor season. Bit of money now. The players they're recruiting, because they've got money and they've got ambition, which are 2 things I hear the Dragons have got in the ownership. So why can we not sign these sort of names next season?
They'll have a much better squad than us 2 or 3 years, let me tell you now. Newcastle will. Absolutely, they will. And our owners can't compete with Red Bull. I'm sorry, but they can't. They won't compete with our level of investment. No way will they.
Red Bull are a massive global sporting organisation, aren't they?
Yeah. But it does show that they're able to attract players, even though they're very poor at the moment, because they're spending a bit of cash.
But if someone can offer you essentially another third of what your own club is offering you, well, you're going to take it every time, aren't you?
Yeah.
If someone is going to say, I'm going to improve your salary by 33%.
Yeah.
Well, you would go and do that job.
And the marquee players and the top players, they'll get Red Bull sponsorship probably on top of that. So that's extra funds from as well, isn't it? So
those marquee players, whoever they bring in as marquee players, are going to be earning a packet to an extent that no one else can compete with. Yeah,
absolutely. But I can see Newcastle quickly becoming everybody's second favourite team because people want success. They'll just jump on the bandwagon. It happened with Bristol. Like I said, nobody cared about Bristol before the Bears, and now, like I said, everyone seems to love
with Ospreys.
Yeah.
I could move for Osprey shirts in Ebervale for a decade,
Yeah, spot on.
Yep, true.
Everyone loves a Galactico.
Yeah, people will jump on the bandwagon because they want success, don't they? We all want success. We all want success.
It's on that as well.
Sorry, I was just going to say, why do you see so many Manchester United shirts in Newport? It's not because we have a deep intrinsic link to the northwest of England. It's because they're the most successful club in England.
It does make a huge difference. And even on a smaller scale, I had mates come over to the New Year's Day game because it was New Year's Day, essentially, not because it was the Dragon Scarlets. And because we won, another mate bought a ticket for the Newcastle game. And one was going to come, but he couldn't get out of something else. And you're like, well, just because we won. They didn't watch the flipping game. They were drinking pints. But
people like winning.
People like, just going, oh, that was good. And now they went to the Newcastle game. It's like, that was amazing. What a night. When's the next one? And you're like, yes, like if we put the money in and we can win more games, I feel like that crowd will grow. It wasn't a bad crowd Friday night. Was it 5.5? Something like that?
Close to that, yeah. 5,200 and something.
Yeah.
I feel like we could easily be getting 7 every week if we continue as we are and get a few more decent players through the door and win a few more games a season. We'd easily be getting 7 every week.
Yeah. Going back to Newcastle, I thought it was going to be a closer game. I expected a little bit more from Newcastle. They offered nothing. Apart from those tries, which they just capitalised on our mistakes, they offered absolutely nothing. I was really surprised. Their best player, and they did say on the pod last week he would be, by the way, was Tom Christie, their 7. Very good player.
He was a pest, wasn't he?
He's a good player, and I did warn you all he'd be a good player, but thankfully he didn't have that much influence on the game because he was on the back foot for a lot of it. But a tough evening for Newcastle travelling fans. But if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be very excited about the future. That's what I would say. And they will end up being everyone's second favourite team, guaranteed. They'll do what Bristol Bears have done, and people will just be following Newcastle now. Let's have a look at the stats then. You mentioned earlier, Gav. So according to the official stats, Dragons had 12 entries into Newcastle's 22. Newcastle had 4 entries into the Dragons 22. So they didn't really get much territory, did they? No. Dragons had 61% possession and 78% territory. That's compared to Newcastle's 39% possession and just get this, 22% territory, Newcastle. That tells a story, doesn't it? Dragons had an 83% tackle success rate. That's not bad. Only 3 turnovers won, though, compared to Newcastle 7. That's a little bit disappointing. We didn't turn over the ball as much as we normally do, but didn't really matter, I don't suppose.
Because we already had it.
Yeah, set piece was pretty good. 85% line-out success rate. Scrum was clocking in at 86%.
Scrum was very good.
Yeah, so Dragons won 6 scrums compared to Newcastle's 3. Rio Dyer, he had a blinder, didn't he? Our Rio, 2 tries, 74 metres carried, beat 7 defenders. He's got to be in the mix for the Wales Six Nations squad, hasn't he? Surely.
I think he's nailed on, personally.
He's hit in form just at the right time as well. He's been very, very good the past couple of months as Rio.
Yeah, he's been excellent. Fair play.
Him, Reece Zammit, Adams, they're all nailed on for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron Wainwright was doing Aaron Wainwright things again, wasn't he? 17 carries. Another typically excellent performance from Waino. He just carried like a demon, didn't he? I thought he was terrific. Well, it's just standard Wainwright, isn't it? It's just this is what he does, and he's so good.
He's a consistently 8 out of 10 player.
Yeah. We're going to miss him so much, aren't we?
Yeah.
Really, really good performance from Waino. Excuse me. What my take was from the game, right? So, do you remember last week when I said Ben Carter about, he was Welsh Rugby's most underappreciated players? Yeah. Can I add Aneurin Owen to that list as well?
Oh, yeah.
Now, look, I know Aneurin has always been a classy player, but how good has he been this season? I think he's quietly having an excellent season. That inside pass for Rio's try was delicious. And his partnership, that inside pass, that's class. That's absolute class. And his partnership with Finney and EC, right? I'm going to say it now. This is the best centre partnership Dragons have had in years. It works so well. Them two together. And it's going to be really interesting now when Paya comes back from his injury to see what happens there. It's probably going to end up in EC out on the wing. But I really like him at 13. I really like his distribution. He gives us go forward. He's just so good. Him and Aneurin work so well together.
Did you notice so that inside ball you mentioned was amazing for Rio's first try. Rio's second try, I've watched this so many times. It's so beautiful. And Iwan Owen, instead of running to Rio to celebrate, turns around and runs straight to Anisi. So they do seem to be building sort of a tight bond in the centre, don't they? And yeah, they're working really well together.
They've got a really good partnership now. And I said it's one of my favourite centre part. I think it's the best we've had in years. It just works so well. They work so well. So Angus was playing the match. We're big fans of Angus on this pod, aren't we? I still find him a very frustrating player, though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Still missed a kick, didn't he? Right in front of the posts. Angus, come on. You've been told about this. You're kicking him from the touchline. You're missing him in front of the posts. Come on, man. But what I will say, when he's poor, he's terrible. But when he's good, he's excellent. And boy, was he excellent on Friday night. And apparently Reece Priestland said on commentary, when Angus plays well, Dragons play well.
Mm-hmm.
Which, funny enough, is what I said on this pod. Great minds think alike, don't they? But he's right. He's right. Yeah. When Angus plays well, Dragons play well. I used to say the same about Rodri, but that's not happening in a minute. But how good was Angus? His kicking out of hand. Oh. I mean, superb, wasn't it? His touch finders, 50-22s. When he plays like that, he's just a joy to watch, isn't he?
It's unbelievable. There was one point when they had a penalty kick to touch. And as the guy went to kick it, I shouted some abuse to him. Don't know whether it was me, but, got in his head. He missed touch. Angus caught the ball in the 22 and pinged it not far off their 22. Yeah. And you just see the Newcastle players be like, oh, like, do you know what I mean? Just like, it must just demoralise another team. And our forwards are like, great, we're running forward again. And yeah, his boot dominated the game, didn't it?
Yeah. That missed kick though in front of the post, you took that away. It was an almost perfect performance, wasn't it? Like if he'd nailed that would have been the perfect performance. But I thought he was excellent. He frustrates the hell out of me, Angus, for different reasons, because he does things that I don't like. But my God, he was so good on Friday, and he deserved it. Like that pass you mentioned earlier, when Anisi, makes that break and gives it to Rio. Yeah. Brilliant performance. Well done, Angus. Here's a question for you both. Is Robert Hunt Dragons' best signing so far this season? I'm going to say yes. Now, I know Anisi comes very close. I'm going to say Rob Hunt's been our best signing. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes, it's undoubtedly.
Because we've got set piece ball. It's simple, really.
Yeah, you mentioned the scrum went well, guys. Nothing else happens if you don't have a good set piece, does it?
Oh. No.
And he likes to whack people in defence.
He does. And he likes to carry as well.
Yeah, he's just like, who is this guy? He's amazing. We're very aggressive in defence as well. I know we say Newcastle didn't do a lot, but I feel like we're trying to hurt people in the tackle. And it is led from the front. Rob Hunt, legend. I'm glad he's not got a terrible Barnett because we'd have to copy him as well.
Friend of the pod, Rob Hunt. Let's not forget he was on this pod. Yep. Lovely chap. I still can't make my mind up on Domini, though, the South African tight end. I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm not thinking he's brilliant either. So far, I'm not thinking to myself, we got to do everything we can to keep him.
No.
I don't know. My mind's not made up on him yet. I don't know what you two think about him.
When he comes off the bench, though, I don't go, oh, Jesus.
Oh, no, we don't do that at all.
And yeah, I think we have struggled at prop for a long time, and I'm not worried when he comes on. When he gets himself there to carry as well, he can make yards. He does hit his man in defence. Let's hope he never gets isolated because, he's not twinkle toes, is he? But yes, that's not what he's there for. I like him. I'd happily see him stay on.
I can't see that happening. No, I cannot see, because what people forget is the union still have a say on overseas players. There's no way you're telling me they're going to allow two non-Welsh qualified tight ends in front of two Welsh international tight ends. They're not going to allow that. So I'd be very, very surprised if he stays at the Dragons, because I don't think the union will take to that.
I don't know if you can clarify this as well. Is there a ruling that you're allowed 8 non-Welsh qualified in the squad? Is that right? So I believe that's what it used to be.
It's a match day team, isn't it? Is it?
I thought there was. I just thought there was an entire in your squad. You're allowed 8 non-Welsh qualified.
Yeah, I think it's 8, and then it's like 2-time service as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've asked this question on the pod before. We've talked about this before. I'm pretty sure we said it was 8, and it's 2 time service.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Is Rob a time server? Because God, we could do
No.
with him.
no,
Damn it.
Isn't it 3 years?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah, I like him, but like I said, I'm still not 100% sure on him yet. I haven't quite made up my mind about him, but he's done all right. He hasn't, tear down any trees, but the scrum hasn't been demoralised when he's on either. But
No.
yeah, he's been pretty decent. We needed a guy to come in, didn't we? Because of the injuries and fair play, he's doing his job, I suppose. What else have I got here? Di Richards is much better on the wing than he is on outside centre.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that's up for debate.
No.
Keep him on the wing, please, Philo, if he's going to
Yep.
play. And the only thing I'd add, for the first time in a long time, I'm actually enjoying going to Rodney Parade. I'm really enjoying it now because I've spoken about this on the pod before. It's felt like a chore to me. It's felt like something I just had to do. I'm going out of habit, not because I really want to. But over the past couple of months, I've really enjoyed it. The atmosphere has been superb. The fans have been terrific. You guys on the terrace, Gareth, Loaf, and all the other motley crew, you've been amazing. You're loud, you're proud. We can hear you on the TV and everything. You've been terrific, and you're proper loyal supporters. And that's what the club need to realise. It's a two-way street. Yes, we will bring the support, we will make noise, but you gotta give supporters something to believe in.
Yeah.
You've got to give supporters something to shout about, and the Dragons are doing that. So, and I think as well, if people can see that you're building something and you're heading in the right direction, they'll come and watch you.
Yeah.
They will. If they
Yep.
believe in what you're doing, I know it sounds cheesy. We all seen that film, Field of Dreams, haven't we? If you build it, they will come. But it's true.
It is very true.
If people can see you're building something and you're winning games and there's a really good atmosphere, they watch on TV, they think, oh, do you know, I fancy going to the next Dragons game. Looks all right. It looks like it'll be a good night. That's what the club need to keep doing. Give us something to shout about, and we will reward you, and we will get behind the players. And I think Rodney Parade, the last 4 or 5 games has been enjoyable. I've actually enjoyed going, and I haven't felt like that for a long time. And okay, we don't get the biggest crowds in Welsh rugby, but I guarantee you 4,000 at Rodney Parade will still sound louder than 12,000 at the Arms Park. It'll sound louder than anything at Park of Scarlets because it's a library. It'll sound better than anything in Bridgend as well. And I hang my hat to that. Come at me if you want. I don't give a shit. Rodney Parade's got a brilliant atmosphere.
Yeah, I stand by that as well, 100%. Nowhere I'd rather be on a Friday night than Rodney Parade. It is mad, they say building they'll come. So I walked the dog wearing the Dragons hat, it's cold. And somebody said to me yesterday morning, oh, Dragons, they had a good win, didn't they? I reckon I've seen this person almost every day for like the last 5 years walking the dog. They've never mentioned the Dragons to me, even though I've always got a Dragons hat on. And this, people like success. People take an interest when a team's winning and the crowds will grow. We've just got to keep doing it, and we do need to strengthen again in the summer.
Oh, yeah, well, that's essential now, because if we can have a squad so we can rotate and not get our arses handed to us, that's development, isn't it? Because at the minute, if we put our best team out, we're competitive. But if we rotate, we are lambs to the slaughter. Well, if they can bring in players so that's not the case.
Yeah, 100%. And we've actually got a bit of quality to come back off the injury list, haven't we?
We have.
Some top names on that injured list at the minute. So,
well, everyone's excited about Paya coming back, but also as well, not sure what's happening with Seb Davis.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Seb Davis. Yeah.
So we were told before Christmas that he's back in training. That's what it said on the Dragons website. He's back in training, and we still haven't seen him. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
So who have we got to come back? Seb Davis,
Elliot D.
Paya, Elliot D.
I mean, Elliot D is unbelievable. He's been one of Wales's best hookers for the last decade. And, he almost gets overlooked because the depth of hookers. So I thought Brodie was great, by the way, 2 turnovers. Yep. He needed a big game with all the pressure Bowes is now putting on. George Roberts as well, bless him. Yes. Denied a try because we had the penalty try, but he burrowed his way over in the corner anyway.
No,
he's a scrappy bugger, isn't he?
He keeps getting done out of tries, though, bless him. And he's putting it about. I like our depth at hooker now. Really like it.
George Roberts is really good. So I know that Sam Lana said to you about him.
Yeah,
Didn't he
yeah.
say he's a
Sam
good
rated
player?
him. Yeah,
And
yeah.
a couple of people said to me, "Oh, he's a decent player. He is. He's a tidy pickup." And I think George Roberts has been really good.
Yeah,
Our
definitely.
depth for hookers ridiculous now. He is. Ollie Burrows, how
We,
good has
we
he been?
we've got 4 really decent hookers, haven't we? It's which
Yeah.
is mad. All Welsh qualified as well.
Well,
Mm.
our 3 best hookers, if any of them were named in the Welsh squad, you wouldn't be, gobsmacked, would you?
No, no.
No, we'll talk about the Wales squad in a bit because the squad has been announced on Tuesday, I believe.
Tuesday is okay.
Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's definitely going to be announced this week. Um, yeah. Any other further thoughts or comments on the game on Friday? Any other observations
No.
you want to make, Gareth?
No, just Rodney Parade Fortress, isn't it? Standard now. It's just what we do.
It's good to see you not getting carried away, Gareth. You got your feet firmly on the ground. But you're right, it has become a difficult place to go. And the amount of times I heard people say, we need to make Rodney Parade a fortress. I mean, I'd be richer than Elon Musk. But guess what? It's happening now. It is actually happening. But
It is
now
happening.
we need to sort out the away form. And we'll come onto that a bit later because that's going to be the real challenge now for these players and coaches. So, Dragons got the job done on Friday night. Sorted, bonus point win. And then all eyes were on Perpignan and Lions on Saturday evening because that game was going to determine whether we'd actually qualify or not. It was highly likely we was going to, but given a freak result, it could put us in trouble. And it finished 20-all, which means Dragons not only qualified, but they finished third in the pool, which is quite surprising because we expect them to finish fourth, but no, they finished third. That means, and at time of recording, it is not confirmed. It might be by the time this pod comes out, though. That means that we are away to Stade Francais. And that game will take place on the first weekend of April. Paris in the springtime. That's a nice trip, isn't it, for away fans? So, how do we all feel about that? Stade Francais away. I'll be honest with you. At one point, it looked like we was going to have Benetton away. I would much rather Stade Francais than Benetton away. I know Stade Francais are in good form this season, and they're doing pretty well in the top 14, but I don't know. I think I'd prefer Stade Francais away than Benetton, if I'm being honest. But what do you two think of that?
100%. Like Benetton, we're playing them enough anyway, to be honest. It's something different, isn't it? We don't, Stade Francais are a huge French team. They've beat La Rochelle at home this season. They've beat Toulon at home this season. I think they're third in the French league. They're a massive size. They've got a massive stadium. That is, I mean, it's a bit bizarre, really, that we've gone from where we've been the last few seasons to now going, well, we've got a knockout match in Paris. But I mean, on Friday night in the pub, every person I spoke to was going. In the cold light of day, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I'm sure we'll take a few fans over there. It's not too far, is it? And yeah, I'm excited by that. That's a massive challenge, but just go and swing a punch. What have we got to lose?
Gav? Stade Francais away?
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting tie, isn't it? And of those clubs in there, I think, well, I think French team at home is always going to be challenging, but none of those teams you would have wanted to go away to, would you? You wouldn't have wanted to go away to Exeter. You wouldn't have wanted to go away to Ulster. So, it is what it is, I suppose. Hopefully, that we take a decent side. We have a go at it because we aren't going to win the URC. And in all reality, we aren't going to get into the playoffs. So why don't we have a go at this?
Completely agree. I will be very annoyed if Philo gets the tombola out and makes changes. No, give it a crack. Give it a crack. And you owe it to the travelling support as well, because there will be a few that go over there. I think our away support is pretty decent. So yeah. And of course, we all remember what happened, don't we, in 2014 when Dragons beat Stade Francais. Remember that in the Challenge Cup? 22-38 when a young Angus O'Brien made his European debut and scored 18 points. Remember that, Gareth?
Oof,
Nick
yeah,
Cutt scoring that try.
yeah. Class.
Yeah.
That's some time ago now, isn't it?
2014, yeah, we need to channel the spirit of 2014. But
12
that was a
years
hell of a
ago.
result. That was, mind. That was a big shock at the time. That was a huge shock.
See, we can do it. We've got
We
it in
absolutely
us.
can. Yeah. So as I said, the time of recording not confirmed, but it is highly likely, probably will be confirmed by the time you listen to this, that we
Easter
are away.
weekend as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, so we will be taking a trip to Paris which is
Oof.
nice. That's a very nice trip, isn't it? It's not too far at all, is it? So yeah, look forward to that one. Right then, just a reminder that you can find us on YouTube, subscribe on your podcast apps, and leave us a review. 5 stars on Apple Podcast or Spotify will get you a shout out on the pod. Barry Hopkins has been in touch, boys. This is what he says. Ospreys fan, yeah?
We are the #1 podcast choice for Ospreys fans, as we know.
I'm not being funny, but what is it with Ospreys fans listening to our pod? It's mental the amount of Ospreys fans and correspondence that we get.
Considering there's almost as many Ospreys fans as there are Ospreys podcasts.
It's absolutely mental. I'm not complaining. I think it's great.
No.
Thank you for listening. You know, we're a broad church. We'll welcome anyone. We even welcome Cardiff fans. We don't care. As long as you're listening, it's great. So Barry says, Ospreys fan, yeah? Love watching this podcast weekly. Insightful, great characters, and is always on my watch list for the next episode. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Barry. That's
Thank
really
you, Barry. That's very kind.
very, very kind. Appreciate that. And yeah, if you want to get in touch like Barry does, then contact us on the socials. You know where we are now, on the YouTube channel and so forth. But yeah, always nice to get positive comments. But yeah, I just find it quite funny how many Ospreys fans listen to us. We are the #1 podcast for Ospreys fans. Just don't tell the other 20 podcasts of Ospreys out there. So they won't take kindly to that. Let's move on to the Gwent Rugby Roundup. Gavin, what's been happening?
Certainly. So, quite a busy one after the weather had decimated us the last couple of weeks. We have quite a busy weekend. So, Prem, no SRC as we know, but Prem, there was Bargoed, unfortunately couldn't win at home. They lost 33 against Bearside. Newbridge also unsuccessful on their travels, 29-24 away to Cardiff Met. But Cross Keys did at least win one game in the Prem for Gwent sides, 31-13 win against Narberth. In the Championship, Bedworth won 42-12 away to Bridgend Athletic. Penaltha didn't win away. They lost 45-7 to Glamorgan Wanderers. Talawine just edged out 16-13 at St Joseph's. And Annisty lost 17-24 at home to Rumney. Into Division 1, and there was some shock news out of Division 1 this week that Blaenavon, who've been a fairly steady presence in Division 1 for the last couple of years, they've said they are immediately withdrawing and are aiming to re-enter the leagues at Division 6 next season.
Sorry, Gav, do we know why that is? Is there a reason?
So the reason they've given is around difficulty in maintaining player numbers and coaching and just being able to be competitive at that level. I believe they were quite well funded for a number of years.
Yeah, I saw a few people saying they've been splashing cash, apparently.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Jamie Noble, was there a while back, kind of playing and then coaching, and he I think there was money there, and I think the money isn't quite as free flowing as it was, but it's Division 1, it is competitive, so I do get it. But there's a wider issue. If you just think, since we've been doing this pod, Tredegar have folded, Westmorn have folded.
Yeah.
These are clubs that have ceased to exist. No, Cum in Ebbville, that was just before our time. They folded. Beaufort have folded. They're all clubs in our region.
Sad, isn't it?
I know Blaenavon, kind of are dropping down the leagues. Well, it might work in the same way it did for New Tredegar.
Yeah.
But it's a good setup there. So yeah, it's just an interesting situation that we find ourselves in Gwent Rugby. Well, it's not just Gwent Rugby, but that is our concern. But into Division 1, Blackwood winning 36-28 at home to Bedlinog. Blaenau convincingly winning 55-0 against Abergavenny. Brymawr 24, Newport High School All Boys 12. And then Monmouth edged out 19 points to 17 away to Nelson. Into Division 2, Caldecott 17, Abercorn 19. Corsiciliog 10, Newport Saracens 13. Cumbran 57, St. 11. Pill Harriers 38, Rumney 35. A thrilling game there down the Pill. Usk 57, Pontypool United 38. Again, defence is definitely not on the top there at Usk. Division 3, Killian 25, Gondify 14, Fleur de Lis 31, Risca 12, Machen 33, Newport 30, New Panteg 28, Nantiglow 8, and RTB Ebervale 16, Gwenavyd 49. And then into Division 4, Abertwysog 5, Tredigau size 12. The derby of places I've been painfully drunk in my life in both those rugby clubs. Crumlin 24, Whiteheads 27. Derry 27, Oakdale 8. Llanillas 29, Bedwellty 12. Then Pont and Fry 32, Crickhowell 26. Division 5, Betos versus Haverfordwest was postponed. Bargoed Athletic 43, Hollybush 12. Hartridge 5, Aberystwyth 33, a game you were at, Jamie?
I was, yes, a very enjoyable game. It was Hartridge's first game in 2026 because, they've been postponed. I went over there thinking it should be a comfortable win because Aberystwyth only won one game all season and Hartridge got absolutely battered. They lost 5-33. Just too many errors and discipline cost Hartridge, and fair play to Aberystwyth, and they were the best team. Enjoyable game, though.
Trinant 21, Blackwood Stars 52. Division 6, Girland versus Penalta Athletic was postponed. Mago 12, Heroine 12. And St Julian's 35, Bryneffel 13. Into Dragons Athletic League, Blackwood Griffins 20, Nelson Athletic 28-4. Gondifife Gorillas, great name, 10, Gwenavyd Athletic 43. The Machen Quarrymen 37, Chepstow Druids 15. And Pill Development 7, and Ystad Rats 22. And women's rugby, Gwalior Lightning continued their excellent form, winning 31-17 at home against Edinburgh. In the women's Prem, Bonamine beat Ystad 32-0, and Division 1 East, Newport High School Old Boys, strange name for the women's team, won 20 points to 15 away to Abercynon. And I do have some information from our friends at the DOC. Let me just quickly find that. So, massive news. Dragon All-Stars bagged 2 wins yesterday against the Colwyn Bay Stingrays and Bolton Buccaneers. All 3 teams played great mixed ability rugby with some really expansive stuff on show. Slow off the mark, but soon found their rhythm, scoring loads of tries. Some players even made their debut. Next up is Stafford in 2 weeks at Eugene Cross Park. That's in the stadium at Eugene Cross Park. It would be amazing to see as many supporters there as possible to cheer the boys on. Also, the Supporters Club have got details for the Scarlets trip with coach and ticket packages available. Check the DOSC social media for all info.
Lovely stuff. Bit of breaking news. Just checked the Dragon socials. It is now confirmed that we definitely are playing Stade Francais away. So this is what they wrote. Confirmed. We travel to the French capital at Stade Francais in the EPCR Challenge Cup round of 16. The game will be played the weekend of April 3rd, 4th and 5th. Date, time and ticketing details to be announced in due course. Paris, here we come. So that's on the Dragon social. So yeah, it is now confirmed that we are playing Stade Francais. Right, let's turn our attention to Friday night. Dragons travel to Cork to face Munster. So this match is being played at the Virgin Media Park, not Thomond Park in Limerick. It's a 4G pitch, I believe.
Where is that? Is that the one in Cork?
Yeah, I said they travel to Cork. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I missed that bit clearly.
Yeah, so I think it's 4G. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. So being played in Cork, not Limerick. We're up against a Munster team that crashed out of the Champions Cup in the pool stage for the first time since 2020. A wounded animal. Why do we always seem to play teams away who are coming off bad results? So Benetton, they lost at home to Edinburgh. We had to play them then. And now we're playing a Munster team coming off a bad result against Cast. We're always the sacrificial lambs, aren't we, when we go to these teams? They're coming off bad results, but it is what it is, I guess. So, yeah, tough game. Gareth, what are your thoughts into this one? Munster away.
It is a tough game. I think we've spoke about it plenty. I mean, that our home and away forms night and day, but that has to end at some point. It doesn't mean that I expect us to go there and win, but I want a strong side picked for start. I want to see us put out as strong as possible, really, with those fit, and see what we can get out of the game. The way we're starting to attack, you think we've got a chance of getting 4 tries. We have actually been close to 4 tries in quite a few away games. Just need to be a little bit more clinical. I mean, but really, let's stay in the fight. I don't want to see Munster with a bonus point in the bag at halftime. Things like that frustrate me when I watch Dragons away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is tough, but let's pick a strong side. Am I right in thinking this is the last time we'll have our internationals?
Yeah, so this is the last week we'll have our internationals and then they'll get called into camp. So you are absolutely right, Gareth. There is no excuse for Philo to start making changes. We should pick the strongest team possible and make the most now out of our Welsh internationals before they head into camp. So no excuses. I do not want to see a tombola for this one, especially with Munster, being wounded animals. We need to go there in front up and give a good account of ourselves. So yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of them have had a good break as well because they played New Year's Day, but then missed the Treviso trip. So, they've only played 1 game so far in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I think get the most. Yeah, get the most out of the players before they go, and also let's try and create a little bit more momentum. If we can just pick up a point on the road, it's good. I am interested in the league table this season. I want to see where we can finish, and every point is going to matter come the end.
100% it will. Yeah. Gavin, thoughts then into this one, Munster?
Yeah, I totally agree, really. I just, are we going to go there and win? Yeah, probably not. Or should we go there, make a good account of ourselves and, kind of limit them as much as possible, score some tries? That's absolutely what we should do.
And the 4G pitch should suit us as well, shouldn't it?
Well, you're
training on
the way
4G,
we're playing. Yeah.
Any other thoughts or?
No, I totally agree with Gareth. I think, like I said, I don't think we're going to get into the playoffs, but, let's see where we can finish. If we go to somewhere stupid like 10th, I'd be giddy.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be stupid for us, though. That would be genuine progress. That'd be a really, really good position for us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I say, I would be absolutely giddy if we got to 10th.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It does matter. I do want to finish above as many teams as possible this season. And also, there is a lot of rugby to be played with some really tough fixtures. I don't want to see other teams start picking up wins and us drop down that table. Every point is going to count. I really do not want to finish bottom Welsh team. And I know at the moment you think, oh, we're in a good position. Yeah, there's still plenty of rugby to be played.
Oh, yeah.
We need to pick up points. So please, let's just get points on the road. If you just pick up a point, great. Get back on the plane, job done.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Munster's recent form isn't great, to say the least. If you want a little bit of hope, they've lost 4 games now on the bounce, and they haven't won since the 20th of December when they beat Ospreys in Bridgend. So they're having a bit of a mini slump here, Munster, and like I said, crashing out the Champions Cup. The Irish rugby media and the Munster fans are going to be losing their heads this week, I guarantee you. That's bad news for us because I fear a backlash. They're going to get a kick in the Irish media, Munster, because this is very unlike them. To have a slump like this and to crash out the pool stage as well for Champions Cup. That's not what Munster do. They're normally very, very good in Europe. So bit of a shock to the system for them. Jack Crowley's goal kicking by all accounts has been pretty poor as well. So let's hope if he is playing, let's hope he has a stinker off the tee again. Sorry, Gav, what was you going to say?
Oh yeah, I was just going to say his kicking conversion rate is in the 60%. So it's that's really not what you want from your 10. They're tough to beat at home, though, aren't they? And I know it's not Thomond Park, but it's still a difficult place to go and play.
Very difficult. And just because it's not a winnable game doesn't mean that we should make sweeping changes either, because some of our supporters seem to think that, and I'm sorry, I think that's absolute nonsense. Negative thinking, as far as I'm concerned. But it is away from home, and we know this is a problem for the Dragons, don't we? Playing away from Rodney Parade. And the big challenge now for the coaches and the players is to transfer the home form on the road. Because the reality is this, right? if we want to avoid being bottom Welsh region, and if we want to finish above the Scarlets, because let's be honest, everyone wants that, don't they?
Yeah,
If we want to do those things, right? The reality is we need to start picking up points away from home and not being cannon fodder. They've got to earn respect on the road. They've got to be more competitive because we have got some very tough away games coming up. Because after Munster away, we then got to go to Bridgend to face the Ospreys. That's going to be a very difficult game. And that pitch, by the way, is awful at Bridgend. That is not going to suit us at all. It's a very heavy pitch. That's a tough place to go. We got to go to South Africa as well. We got some really tough away games. So this is the challenge now for everyone at the Dragons. Philo has spoken about it previously. You know, yes, we're not playing in front of our fans, but we are playing on grass, playing on dirt, soil. That's all it is. Got to change the negativity. We've got to change the mindset. We've got to be more competitive away from home. And my fear is that we're going to suffer a little dip because we do play away from home for whatever reason. We're just not very good away from home. Our worst performances over the past 3 years has been away from home, and we've got to change it. And I want to see a strong team named against Munster. I want to see all our internationals involved. There's no excuses. Do not even think about getting our tombola out, Philo. Even if we don't beat Munster, we're not going to. We still got to be competitive. And like you said, Gareth,
though, can he?
No, but Gareth hit the nail on the head there. Every point matters because the Scarlets are going to start. The Scarlets are going to start winning games. They actually did all right against the Saints. The Saints were shocking.
Well.
To be fair, the Saints were bad, but that's not the point. Scarlets are improving. I think they will continue to improve.
Yeah.
They're not going to stay bottom in the league for long.
No.
We've got to go to them as well, haven't we?
We got to go away to the Scarlets. Ironically, our last away win in the URC. So that's definitely a winnable game, I think.
It's the last game of the season. I want us to be in a position where we're clear of them by then.
But that involves winning away from home. And I've seen some comments on the Dragons forums. So our supporters just ain't bothered about away games. It's like, oh, well, if they're not winnable, you know, make changes and concentrate on the home games. Well, no, I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to that level of thinking. And the problem is we've only got 3 home games left now for the rest of the season. You can't just throw away games and make sweeping changes because you think you can't win them. You've got to go there and front up. You've got to play your best team. I think we got to go strong for this one. I really do.
If you're an ambitious team, then, you know, you want to win home and away, don't you?
Of course. But all the good teams do, Gavin.
Yeah,
the good teams
absolutely.
don't go all the way away from them. So, we're probably not going to win this one. So, let's make some mass changes. No, it seems to be like a Dragons mentality. We got to move away from it. We got to move away from it. Ospreys away will be tricky because we won't have our Welsh internationals.
But neither will they. And I imagine they'll have more than us away.
Isn't that a little bit sad?
I think it devalues the fixture. If we're talking about, you know, a Welsh derby, then you want to see all the Welsh internationals involved.
Yeah.
I think it's going to hurt us more, actually. We'll talk about this next week when we preview the Ospreys. I actually think it's going to hurt us more because the Ospreys have got more depth. So, yeah, they'll lose their Welsh internationals. They might have 7 or 8, maybe 9. I don't know how many Welsh internationals they'll have. But when we lose our Welsh internationals, we struggle to replace quality with quality.
Well,
that's the difference.
I've got a view. Because I've been thinking about this quite strongly.
Okay.
I think we're going to be all right. I genuinely think we're going to be in a stronger position than them. Because I was thinking that what our side is likely to look like when all our internationals come out of it. And it's a good side. Right? So front row, we'll lose maybe 2 of our hookers, but we still got great options at hookers. We aren't going to lose any of our props.
Okay. We're jumping ahead slightly for what I was going to talk about, but that's okay. Right. Carry on.
Yeah,
that's okay. So just don't go into too much depth about the Welsh nationals.
No, it's fine. So I think we'll be all right. Second row, we've got enough strength there. We've got Levi. You know, we've got options there. Back row, I don't think we're going to lose many of our lads to the back row, rightly or wrongly. And then we've, kind of centres are probably going to stay the same. Yeah. Might need some changes of winger. Fullback's going to be all right. We aren't getting gutted. We're losing a couple of guys, I reckon, but not enough to gut us.
I suppose we'll talk about it more next week, because we know what players we're going to lose. But I get your point. But I think my point would be the Ospreys do have more significant depth than we do. And I think no matter what players they lose to Wales, they always seem to put a really good 23, don't they? It'd be interesting to see if Moriarty gets called up for us. I think he should be. If we're talking about, Wales lack physicality, I'd be getting Ross Moriarty in the Wales team.
I hope he does, just so you don't have to play against us.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
class.
Yes. I've always loved Moriarty. He was one of my favourite Dragons players. I love the guy. I hope he does get called up.
Yeah, I love, I'm a big fan of a shithouse at 6. We should select a shithouse at 6. Yeah, but for Wales, that is not for Dragons. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, I haven't got anything else to say really on this Munster game. I think we've said all we need to. Do you want to make any predictions?
Munster by 10.
Gareth?
Munster by 6. Go on. Why not? Go and do a job, boys. Do a job.
That would be a good result.
I'm going to regret that one, I reckon. But
yeah, I'm thinking Munster by 15. I am, purely because I think there's going to be a big backlash from them. Because, like I said, they'll have a real kick in. There'll be an inquest after being dumped out of the Champions Cup, and I think we'll be on the wrong end of a backlash. But let's pick our strongest team. Let's go with it. Let's give it a crack. I mean, Cardiff got 2 bonus points out in Munster when they went to Thomond Park. I mean, if we come away with 2 bonus points, that'll feel like a win to me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know Munster aren't listening to this pod, but have a backlash if you want, Munster. Come at us. What have you got? We're up for this now. We've got a solid, if we pick a good team, we're a tough team to break down. I'd like to see Munster. Go on, have a go. If you think you're going to have a backlash, you're in for a game against us. I back the boys. We'll get stuck into them. It's not all about the opposition. We've got some good players beyond that pitch. We'll be all right, boys.
Just got to get a selection right, though.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
So, okay, that's enough of that. Then we'll see how the boys get on. In Cork on Friday night, a tough one, real tough one. But yeah, best of luck. Like I said, come back with a point. I'd be over the moon. Right, just before we go, Wales squad has been announced this week. I've got Wayno, Ben Carter, Rio Dyer, and Shea Hope as probables. Unfortunately, I have got a feeling Brodie's going to miss out. And the reason I think that is because I think the hookers that Tandy's going to pick are Dowie Lake, Ryan Elias, and Evan Lloyd from Cardiff. That's what I think he'll go for. I hope I'm wrong.
Didn't Lake go off injured yesterday?
I didn't see the Ospreys game.
Yeah, he went off injured yesterday.
That doesn't mean he'd be out for the Six Nations.
No, I don't know how serious an injury is, but he did go off injured yesterday.
Okay, keep an eye on that one. But I have a feeling, let's just say he is selected. I have a feeling the backup hookers will be Ryan Elias. I think he will come back into the fold.
He's looking good, mind
you. Yeah, he's
playing
well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I do think Evan Lloyd, but we'll get in there as well.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't make a really good shout for Ollie Burrows, mind. Because, Brodie, he has missed a fair bit of rugby due to injuries, but Ollie Burrows has been brilliant, I think. I mean, that's a long shot.
Brings a bit of physicality, big lump. Yeah, I don't think he'll get in the squad, but that's, that sounds terrible, but that'll be good for us against Ospreys, won't it?
Yeah, it would, yeah. Now, look, we love Angus on this pod, as we said earlier. There's been a lot of calls from people saying Angus for Wales. I'm sorry, but I can't see it.
No,
we're big fans of Angus, but I cannot for the life of me see him playing Test match rugby for Wales. Or am I just being
you're right.
Negative by that?
He's not quick enough, I don't think. And we play in a way that kind of mitigates for that. But if you look at the guys he selected at fullback since he took over Tandy, that's his style of play is that quicker fullback. So I don't think Angus is getting in there, sadly. But
Gareth, could you see Angus there?
I can't see it. No, I think now, especially at his age, 31, I think he's probably missed his chance. He is playing very well. There's probably younger players who you're probably worth picking. And I think there is a bit of strength and pace in the back three at the top level. I feel like he probably does need an extra yard of pace, but probably someone who's been unlucky to not get a cap or a few caps in his career. He's a good.
And there's talk about Rhys Zammit at being at fullback.
Yes, I think
I would have Zammit at fullback if it was me. To be honest,
and you've got Beetham, you've got Winnett, you've got lots of guys perhaps. ahead of him on the cab rank.
Yeah, I've seen people saying that Angus is the in-form fullback in Wales right now. Um, yeah, I mean, he is in very good form. When he's on it, he's really good. Jamie Ringer, friend of the pod, he's been on the Dragon Slayer. He said that surely he has to be in the Six Nations squad, but I just can't see it. As much as we
Yeah.
like Angus, I would be absolutely delighted if Angus O'Brien was in the Wales squad, but I
Oh, yeah.
just cannot see it for the life of me.
Yeah.
I think the second playmaker is going to be selected at 12, either Ben Thomas or the guy at Bristol whose name escapes me,
Yeah.
who's Welsh qualified.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but another one you mean.
David. I want to say David Williams. I might be entirely inventing a man.
Well, Google it when we're talking, and then you'll know for sure. Then, won't you?
Yeah,
So,
my son has taken my phone, so I'm
I think with the other players you mentioned as well, I'd love Shea Hope to get in because I think he's been brilliant and probably one of the form lines in Wales. But I think if players like Shea Hope don't get in, or if Burrows doesn't get in, I wouldn't be too worried because I think not selfishly just because we keep them, but I think you need to do it for longer than half a season. I think
think he will get in.
I would love him to. I think he's definitely got that class, but if he doesn't, then his time will come.
Yeah.
One person I wouldn't be surprised to see, Ryan Woodman. I know back row is hotly contested, but for me, he's got top level 6 all over him.
it's James Williams, Gav.
James Williams. Yeah,
he'll be in there sooner rather than later, I think, with Woodman.
I just think Shea Hope he's lucky because there's a paucity of decent scrum halves. I don't think scrum half is a position of strength for Wales at the minute.
No.
Whereas someone like back row, there are options at back row. At hooker, there's options at back. Hooker, there's options as well. Whereas at 9, well, who are the options? Gareth Davis is older than God.
Well, he's retired, so he's not even in the picture. So it's Thomas Williams, Ruben Morgan Williams, Kieran Hardy. Kieran Hardy will be in the squad, I would imagine. Rodri won't be in the picture, and his form is terrible this season, so we can count him out. I think Shea Hope's got a really good chance, actually, of making it, and he's been in brilliant form. I'd love to see that. I think that'd be good for his development as well. He's probably not going to play a game for Wales in the Six Nations, but just to get him in camp, get him in the environment. That'll be good. That'll be really good for him, I think. So I've got Wayno, Ben Carter, Rio, and Shea. So I've got 4 definite Dragons in the team. How many of you guys got? Do you think anyone else will join them?
No, I'd say those 4. Yeah, and maybe Ryan Woodman as a wild card, but
we should have more than we should have more than the Scarlets though, because if we're picking on form, we're above the Scarlets. So realistically, they should have fewer players. I should say, not less, fewer. They should have fewer players than Dragons, because that's how it's used to be. Dragons always bottom, so they've had less players.
They could have their entire back line in there, couldn't they? Even though they did sod all against us.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They will have Eddie James, Joe Roberts. I guarantee there'll be more Scarlets players than Dragons, even though
Ben Mee was good again today. Can we have him?
Ellis Mee.
Sorry, Ellis Mee. I always say Ben, don't I? For God's sake.
Ben Mee's, but I was going to say Ben Mee's a centre half, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ellis Mee is very, very good. I like him a lot.
Yeah, very good game from him again today in patches. I like him.
Yeah. 3 Welsh teams making European knockout rugby, and poor Scarlets don't have anything to look forward to.
Couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of fans, could they?
Shame, real shame. Right. Is that it then? Any other thoughts on the Wales squad? No other bolters you can think of?
Well, I've seen lots of talk about Kane James, the ex.
He got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, he went off injured.
Yeah, Exeter pumped Cardiff, didn't they? 31-0.
Yeah, it was very convincing. But yeah, I've seen lots of chat about him, but it'd be interesting. He's abrasive. I like an abrasive player, but it'd be interesting to see what else is out there.
We'll talk about the squad in depth next week, because that'll be quite interesting. Then we'll preview the Ospreys game. But
you say it's Tuesday it's going to be announced, is that right?
It's this week, so. I believe, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a busy week in Welsh rugby, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I keep hearing rumours there'll be a decision on Cardiff then somebody else says no, he won't be this week. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm just bored of it all now. I just want a decision made, and I don't think it's fair on anyone. It's not fair on Ospreys fans. It's not fair on Cardiff. Just whatever it is, just bloody well get on with it.
The
Because the
problem is,
uncertainty
I
killing
don't think
everyone.
anyone actually knows.
No, the Union have been absolutely hopeless. They have been really hopeless, haven't they? Not a clue.
Yeah,
Not a clue.
yeah, that's your challenge. I just don't think anyone actually knows, including the people who are meant to be making the decision, because I don't think they know which way to turn.
No, absolutely useless leadership. And as Gareth said, it's just not fair on anyone. Certainly not fair on the Ospreys fans.
No.
You know, I'd be going out of my mind if I was them now, because
Yeah,
it's horrible, isn't it? Not knowing if we'll have a team next year or not.
I was thinking, like, kind of back in my days when I held a kind of fairly significant leadership role, change management stuff. If you wanted to do something, you wouldn't fold. I had to make decisions that weren't massively popular with workforce at many times, but I would always just say, this is the direction we're going. I'm willing to listen to what you've got to say, but we have to go in this direction for these reasons. And the WRU started out like that, and then it folded and folded and folded. And I reckon they'll end up making no decision whatsoever.
I spoke to a couple of people on Friday night, and they're saying they reckon it will stay at 4. I was like, yeah, probably will.
Yeah, I think we'll end up staying at 4 because they're paralysed by indecision.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll just we'll keep a close eye on it, because I think it will be quite significant what happens with our Cardiff bid. It's going to dictate which way the wind blows, but yeah, one to keep an eye on. Any other further thoughts and comments now before we wrap up, gents?
No,
No.
I think
All good. Looking forward to the Ospreys away game. Is the next one I'll see live.
Yes, we'll be at that one, won't we? 31st
You're
Jan.
both going, are you?
We are. Yep.
Yep. Should be a good one.
It should be a very good one. Yeah, we know a few people, so yeah, looking forward to that one. Okay, we'll call in the night. Gavin, Gareth, thank you as always. Thank you to our friends at the Versailles Sports Bar for their continued support of the pod, and thank you for listening. And we'll speak again very soon. Up the Dragons.